I just made a terrible video trying to figure out how to go live on this GoPro, and I think I got it. I'm here with you right now. This is pretty awesome, how easy it is to kind of just go live very quickly from it. I'm also trying to watch this on, my YouTube right now to make sure that you guys can hear me and all this stuff. But I went to El Salvador for the Bitcoin halving party, and the big reason why I think a lot of people were with me, a lot of people I talked to, they've been hearing about El Salvador. Make sure that, cool, I can hear myself. Sounds rolling. So a lot of people went to the halving party, kind of the same way I did, right? We've been hearing about El Salvador on Bitcoin Twitter, crypto Twitter, what's going on with the nation. We wanted to kind of check it out. It's been a couple years. We went from that highest murder capital of the world to one of the safest country in the Americas, South, North America, Central America. So what was it all about? We really wanted to kind of see it, check it out. A couple years ago, I went way far south into Mexico, into some of the poor, less established towns in Mexico. So I thought I would find a similar vibe, and which I did. But we went down there. We spent the first day into the capital, San Salvador. The first initial thought was, I made a video for you guys. We got off the plane. The airport was pretty nice, very well renovated, new, and I got to pay the entry fee. We have to pay $12 to get into the country as an American. And so I paid my $12. I asked if I could pay in Bitcoin. They're like, absolutely. I asked if I could videotape it, which she kind of hesitated, and then she said, yeah, sure. So I got to videotape me paying my entry fee in Bitcoin, and to be honest, that was my first lightning payment that wasn't kind of just peer-to-peer versus somebody, or paying for something online in physical presence. So I loaded a couple wallets with some Bitcoin that had I loaded Strike. I heard Strike was a decent one. I loaded the Phoenix wallet, if you ever used either of those. And long story short, the Strike didn't work the one time I tried to use it. And so I just used my Phoenix wallet the whole time, which I had no issues with it at all whatsoever. Anyway, I got to pay my entry fee into Bitcoin, which is pretty cool. After the entry fee, you got to stand in line, talk to the migration officer. Everybody was nice. We asked some questions, some tips, like, hey, what was your favorite restaurant? What was your favorite thing to do in the country? Everybody's pretty well versed. I got a ton of video. I definitely will have to go through it. I got 7 hours of videos on my GoPro. Nothing too crazy, nothing too adventurous. But I definitely will have to edit and make a video over the next few weeks, few months, when I get some time. I've been gone out of my routine for the last 9 days, and so I have so much work to kind of get done. The first thing I want to do is make a video. It's fresh. I got home at around midnight last night. I woke up super early to go surprise my daughter at school because I haven't seen her in 9 days. And just missing your kid is something else. So I had to go to surprise her on the playground. That worked out good. So now I'm gonna make a video before I get started on my work. I haven't even opened my laptop. I got a couple laptops, haven't even really opened them up yet. But, so, what's my, I'm gonna try to answer some questions that you guys might have, first about the country, so forth. San Salvador, we went there, we stayed in one of the nicest apartment buildings in a part of town. But we didn't really adventure out like we were going to. Everything is on a different time frame. In Latin America, everything is kind of slow. You got to expect, in America, we're so used to the hustle. Everybody's hustling. Everybody's driving as fast as they can. Everybody's trying to get shit as fast as they can. In and out, fast food, this, that, blah, blah. Everybody's just bouncing around. And that's just not quite how the vibe was when I went to Mexico, not how the vibe is here. Everybody's on a slow, chill pace. It took over an hour to get coffee one day. The girl was working by herself. She had a bunch of orders and just do one thing at a time. I'm not gonna lie, the coffee was good, but it just took an hour to get coffee. I mean, if we're in America, we would be shitting bricks, throwing freaking shit at the person. I mean, it's just a completely different vibe down there, and so. It was nice. The capital was insanely busy. I rented a truck, so I'm driving the streets. There's no stoplights. You won't find a stoplight anywhere, which is kind of crazy. They have a lot of it's just a completely different driving experience. I'm used to being pretty an aggressive driver. People are much more nicer down there. I wouldn't really say nicer, but it's just... it's all about how much you could cut people off. You're cutting people off 24/7, 365, and then once you kind of budge in and cut somebody off, they're gonna let you in. So if you're not cutting people off, what happens is you're just not gonna get anywhere. You just kind of have to be what I say the biggest asshole. In America, you cut someone off like that, I mean, you're getting a horn honked at you. You might get shot. I mean, road rage up the ass. And there's no road rage down there. I mean, nobody even remotely was... I mean, it would be full of road rage. I mean, so if you take somebody in America that has road rage and put them down there, I mean, they would just be they'd be fighting everybody. We didn't really venture out. We went to kind of the outskirts a little bit to go get some pupusas. And we went to try a bunch, which... it was like a holiday, something kind of was going on, so a lot of the shops were closed. They weren't even open for dinner. We're walking around midday. I also, about that part of town, you could find some, more, cheaper pupusas. And, if you're from America, you never left America. You never left, Western society of how clean things are, regulations, and... you got health codes and all this stuff. You'd probably look at these places like, what in the world is this? This shit is just so dirty. I mean, it just seems so disgusting, A lot of the bathrooms in these places don't even have a toilet seat. Just single toilet. It's pretty... It's different. It's a different way of life. Poor... the country is still extremely, poor. Nothing that doesn't change in a couple years. It slowly adapts. Now, we went to one of the nicest restaurants in town. Beautiful, beautiful restaurant. I paid for that in Bitcoin as well, which I have a video of. We can see that. I can upload that, which is pretty cool. The one thing about the Bitcoin payments, let's talk about that real quick. So I paid in Lightning. I used Lightning before for transactions for myself, kind of testing it out. I sent some money on Lightning once to somebody online, but I never really used it as a payment. And actually at the airport, it was one of the longest it took. Everywhere else, even in the middle of nowhere, even when my phone, Twitter, I could barely get Twitter to load. I couldn't download a fucking picture. Video just would not upload on Twitter. My service wasn't that good. I have T-Mobile. T-Mobile had free data down there, which was pretty cool. I didn't have to buy another SIM card like my buddy did. So it was chill. But the internet kind of sucked. And I had no issue with Lightning at all. I specifically tried to pay everything in Bitcoin. A lot of people did not accept Bitcoin, especially more in the poor areas. When we went to Elizante, it was Bitcoin Beach. Pretty much almost everybody accepted Bitcoin. There was a few locals that didn't. And what I noticed after a while is they say they don't, but the minute you walk away, they'll be like, no, come back, come. Okay. So we went to the next town over, El Tunco, and chilling on the beach, trying to buy a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to spend some money, and we would go in every shop. You take Bitcoin? No. I'm like, okay. You have something in your hand, like, I want to buy this shirt. You take Bitcoin? No. And you just kind of put it back. Okay, sorry. And they would come, a few of them came after you. Okay. Okay. They'll find someone that takes Bitcoin, and they'll get their money that way. So they don't want to lose a sale. They don't want to lose money. However, the price-wise, it is not cheap. Kind of just bouncing around ideas here. Bitcoin is awesome to use. It was really fast. I scanned a QR code. I got the invoice of how much it was. I could have manipulated it if I wanted to. I actually gave one of the workers a tip. So they just pulled out a wallet. I scanned their wallet, sent them some funds a few times. Other than that, majority of them just kind of gave me an invoice. They kind of gave me, $10. I scanned the QR code. I just hit pay. It's one click. Bam! I got instant confirmation, and I'm looking at their phone, and it pops up sometimes almost as quick as it popped up on mine, which is pretty awesome. And I bought everything from food to scooters to t-shirts, hats, belongings. One thing I couldn't get paid was we wanted surfing lessons, and I didn't go surfing, injury still, but we wanted to go with this one local guy who was supposedly good. That did not take Bitcoin. He doesn't like Bitcoin, and we want to talk to him about why and this and that. And his excuse was pretty a good excuse, which I kind of wanted to share. He said, Bitcoin is good. It's bringing travelers. It's bringing more people. And the only reason why he moved there, and the only reason why he likes it there, is because there isn't people. He doesn't want the tourism. And I was like, well, isn't this good for business? But he's like, yeah, but life isn't about money. And I was just like, man, yeah. Can't argue with that. He likes the chillness of it. He likes, he likes all that. He likes the. That's why he's there. He's there because it's small, it's chill. Even if he's poor, or you might consider him poor, whatever, right? That's what he likes. And he doesn't like the fact that there's a lot more tourism over the past couple years, even though it feels safer. He said he's never really had an issue with the gangs, and so that's his story, which is pretty interesting. But that's why he doesn't like Bitcoin. It's not that he just doesn't like the tourism aspect. He doesn't like the economy kind of growing, what it kind of represents down there. So that was pretty interesting. Should I have gave him my money? Well, to pay for surfing lessons for the girl, but again, it's stories. I wanted to listen to kind of everybody, kind of talk to people down there. A lot of, the one thing is majority of transactions are happening in cash. Everybody wants cash. When I went to the farmer's market, we went to the Bitcoin farmer's market, you're going to find a lot more of the dedicated Bitcoiners. I tried to spend as much money as I could down there buying stuff I really didn't need. I bought a book about, a book I already have just to get another one. I bought Tic Tacs. I overspent Tic Tacs. There was a local, a girl selling Tic Tacs, orange Tic Tacs for like the orange pill. I'm like, I'll support the new entrepreneurs down there, spend some Bitcoin down there. They have a lot of cool stuff. Super cool. The farmer's market vibe, you're in a little patch of, walking on dirt, and people got their, tables out there and, selling. I spent $15 for the little river rock a little Bitcoin rock. So spent $15 in Bitcoin for a rock that are in abundance down there. Guy just kind of briefly carved a B on there. But it's supporting the local Bitcoiners down there. It's bringing some Bitcoin into that economy. That's why I actually went there to kind of spend some Bitcoin and bring it down there, help them out with the awesome initiative that they're doing down there. A lot of the more younger people were a lot more Bitcoin savvy than the older people. A lot of the older people just kind of want to cash. Like, give me cash, And I think that is just because of their suppliers, where they're getting the money. They get a little bit of money in, they spend it to get more stuff. That way they can spend it to either eat or obviously try to make more money. So Bitcoin Beach was amazing. El Tunco and other parts of El Zante. We went to a couple beaches first and we were kind of disappointed. There's a lot of rocks. The country is just trash. There's so much trash everywhere. As you're driving through the countryside, there's trash all throughout the roads. The roads are way different than if you're in America, if you've never drove in some kind of roads in these countries. Like, there's literally shacks with people selling whatever they get their hands on. And I mean, these shacks are made of tree branches. They get tree branches and make the, laws, and they get some metal sheeting, whatever they can have. Some have only had a few. Some people had a little bit nicer, bigger areas than others. And that's their shack. And they sit there and they sell, whatever they get their hands on or whatever they're trying to sell. And we stopped and ate at a couple of them. The food was good. I can't complain. They made eggs, they made pupusas, and so forth. I'm actually sitting here right now. I'm trying to get rid of some food poisoning. I got a really bad stomach ache. My girlfriend got a absolute terrible stomach ache the last day, and it wasn't even from one of those shacks or pupusas. We actually went to more of a nicer restaurant on the beach in El Tunco, and I'm pretty sure the shrimp that we got was not good, because that was the only thing. The third, my friend, didn't eat at all, and he's perfectly fine, and me and her are not doing too good. But that comes with that. I actually got kind of food poisoning once when I went. One of the times I went down to Mexico, just kind of common theme, and there was more poor areas with no, dirt, and it's just kind of dirty. As far as the having party, so day one, here's the schedule. This is a long video, who cares, right? I don't know who's gonna watch this just for my own recreation or whatever. But day one, we spent in the capital. Then we spent 3 days at the having party, which big shout out to the having party host, everybody that put those on, Sean and so forth. We spent 3 days at the having party. Then we spent 3 days at Bitcoin Beach. And then the next day we came home. We made the journey home and so forth. So the 3 days at the having party was awesome. The resort, which is I think their biggest resort in the country on the beach, it was way outdated. It wasn't way outdated, I shouldn't say it's terrible, but I mean, if you're used to Cancun or Vegas or something more crazy, you're gonna be like, man, what the heck? And as far as outdated, another thing, there was nothing in English, nothing at all. So it's not really, they never adapted to getting tourists in from other parts of the world. The majority started asking, who is the clientele that comes here? And it's mainly the countries around them, like Guatemala and Honduras. You get some of the more wealthier business owner families and so forth, and other countries in El Salvador and Honduras and Guatemala and all those driving distance, and they drive there, and that's mainly their customers. So it's mainly Spanish speakers. They're not used to having Europeans, Americans kind of make that far travel down into the resort. So it was an all-inclusive resort. you know what happens with all-inclusive. They get rid of the quality and they give you quantity, right? So they had buffets. The buffet food wasn't terrible, wasn't bad. They had restaurants where you can make reservations for, which we made reservations for 2 nights, and the food was pretty good at the reservation places. I didn't complain about it. I ate a lot. I asked for two meals, and they gave it to me. So I'm happy about the food. The food wasn't terrible at all. The one complaint I will have is the coffee. They did not have coffee there that was worth anything. It was terrible. And they said, oh, we got a special machine that opens at 10. At 10, man, I'm waking up at 7. I can't wait 3 hours for coffee, bro. And then you go there and their coffee is kind of crappy. It's like, But 3 days without good coffee isn't the end of the world. It is for some of us, but just throwing that out there. The having party, they had a few talks, they had a little conference, they had some booths set up, talking with people, which was cool. It's mainly, the vibe was just kind of, which is pretty cool because you're at a resort, you're out of your element, everything's in Spanish, all the menus, all the directions, everything. But there's probably 400 people walking around the resort that have a common interest with you that speak English. And so that was pretty cool. We just continued to kind of meet with people. They had some agendas. They had workouts earlier in the morning. You know, we were gonna show up to that. So met some people that way, and that was pretty fun. A couple days. After that, we had a helicopter tour. We got to go on a helicopter that they set up. Thanks, Diego, for setting that up, which is pretty awesome. Some cool stories about that, which I will make on my video, of course. Got to see beautiful El Salvador from the top. It was dry season, just to note. This is the very end of the summer dry season, and so there's a lot of tanness instead of greenness. So some of the locals, some of the people we were talking to when we went on a hike, said that all of that will be green in a few months. So it's just a kind of a little bit different vibe, kind of going out there depending on what time of year you might go. So wet season is like May to August, so we're just missing the wet season out there. It did rain on us briefly when we were at the having party, but not a big deal. The weather there, it was hot and humid. There's not many fans. Everything is outdoors. All the restaurants are outside. Nothing has windows. You know, hurricanes or whatever, earthquakes, whatever, shatter the windows. There's no window dining, you know. Everything is open, which is nice, but it's open. It's open. And so it's hot. You got to get used to just sweating, feeling sticky. So right now I'm feeling amazing. I'm in the AC. It's like 70 degrees in Vegas right now. Oh man, I came back here. I drove around with my windows open earlier this morning. It feels great here, but you got to get used to the humidity. Some people are used to that. I'm just not. I'm from a dry desert, so no complaints there. Definitely got to get used to that. The pools were amazing. Jumping in a nice lukewarm or slightly chill pool as you're hot, nothing beats it. So the having party went off great. We didn't really partake in some of the parties. You know, I don't drink very much at all. I did have a couple drinks. I had, like 2 drinks when I was there the whole trip. So I did drink a little bit. They did have a cigar session. I like cigars. I smoke a cigar once a year. I had a really good Cuban cigar. I don't know where I bought it from. One of the people selling it at the inside the convention, and it was probably the best cigar I ever smoked. Made me hungry, made me feel good, made me tingly. It was amazing, big hit. But not everybody likes cigars. That was my one cigar this year. So until next year, it was whenever. But that was good. We didn't. The resort itself had some entertainment. They had some shows with some cultural dancers, which are pretty awesome. Great dancers, great Great vibe there. The beach over there was great. They had a natural pool, which was cool. The resort was good, but it was just very outdated. We went about 40 minutes away to a newer resort that was just kind of and still in the process of construction, but just coming out. That vibe there was so chill. On the beach, chilling. Could ride horses. And they had a day pass for $25. You could hang out there all day. And so forth. Now let's talk about pricing. This is a big one. I know we're 25 minutes in, but whatever. Pricing down there, holy shit, man. It's expensive. It is not cheap. I think I paid way less in Mexico than I did here. Everything's priced in dollars, so there's no conversion rate. You're spending dollars. You're looking at the dang thing, and you're like, $25? That's like pesos, right? No, but you're spending $25. So everything isn't cheap there. On average, I think I paid $20 or $30 for some shirts. What else? I paid, I bought a very similar Mexican dress for my daughter for $5 in Mexico. They wanted $20 in El Salvador, and I tried to talk down and all. So it is what it is. Obviously, I look like an Americano, a gringo. They know I got money. I look like I got money, whatever. They're taking it. But as far as the restaurants go, a lot of the restaurants are not that cheap as expected. However, the labor there is pretty insane. So we went to a dinner. We're overlooking the beach. Beautiful scenery, everything. Food was good. This is not the one that we got food poisoning at. A different one. And, the food prices are, I wouldn't say cheap, but I wouldn't say expensive either. It's basically like maybe an upscale Applebee's or like a cheesecake prices, somewhere around that sort. So, we paid, I spent $200 for 3 people. So as you can see, it adds up quite a bit. Now we were asking the waiters where we were going, how much they get paid, which is pretty interesting. So I paid $200 for a meal for 3 people. We had 2 appetizers, 3 entrees, 3 desserts, and a couple drinks for, the drinkers. Lemonade, some drinks and everything. So $200, not terribly crazy, but it's not terribly cheap either, But what's crazy is how much you're getting paid. So we're asking a lot of the waiters, hey, how much do you get paid? And they say they work 10-hour days on average. Some others said they work on average about 10-hour days, and they get paid just over $1 an hour. So they work 10-hour days and they make $11 a day. Some of the people were making $13 a day. Laborers down there, we asked some laborers, some construction workers laying blocks and all that, how much they get paid. They get paid $15 a day, $15 a day, and they try to hit a certain requirement of work to do. So labor down there is extremely, extremely cheap, which was impressive on the type of labor. Yes, it went slow. There wasn't that many workers at all, which was insane. It's some places, like you go to the airport and at Burger King, there was like 15 people working there, just standing there doing nothing. And then you go to Bitcoin Beach. You're on the beach or El Tuco around there. And you're at a restaurant and there's 5 people working. There's one person in the kitchen, there's one person waiting, there's one person bartending, there's one person, which is kind of crazy. But again, we brought a lot of people into the area that mainly wouldn't be there. We did ask quite a few people, and they were not used to seeing so many kind of foreigners there all at kind of once. So we definitely kind of overtook that little town just quite briefly, which was good because hopefully more Bitcoiners like me brought some Bitcoin to spend and kind of try to support that local area to help it grow and so forth. That's kind of the goal, right? But El Salvador, at the end of the day, it still has a ton of work to do, I think. Definitely a shift, definitely a good vibes down there. I never once felt unsafe. There was a lot of Bitcoiners that had kids with them. There was Eric Stats, also known as the weed guy. He had his little girl. He actually stayed in the same villa as us with his wife, and they had their little girl the whole time walking around chilling. There was plenty of kids. There was plenty of, I should say, white kids down there from the people that may have moved there earlier. There was never once felt unsafe, never once needed to feel unsafe. The police, there was kind of police kind of directing traffic, sitting there. I kind of, me, I'm very eye contacty. I always make eye contact to try to make eye contact with people. I smiled at them, kind of nodded my head sometimes, and they smiled back. So no issues with that. Military, I really didn't see too much military. There was a few guys in the back of a truck. Then there was a few guys like doing a stakeout or something. They were getting ready to raid somebody. But other than that, I mean, I never once felt unsafe at all. Never once felt like we were gonna get robbed. Never once felt like we were gonna nothing at all. Honestly, felt more unsafe in Mexico than here. No corruption. Never, you know. Again, felt pretty much at home. Definitely not at home. I mean, Vegas. I just got back to Vegas and there's road raging, people going crazy. Definitely chill vibe down there, which is good. So I know a lot of people have questions about how the safety is. If you're worried about the safetiness, I don't think you have anything to kind of worry about. As far as transportation down there, we rented a truck, which is pretty easy to do, was not too expensive. And then we rented also scooters. We just wanted the freedom of driving on the scooters, the wind blowing. You have to wear a helmet down there, which was, I don't like wearing a helmet. I just wanted safety, I know. But, you're on vacation, you don't have to put a helmet on, and then you walk around. It's like, man, do I really have to walk around with a damn helmet? Like, this is terrible. So I asked a couple of the locals, like, anybody gonna steal the helmets? And they're like, nah, dude, just leave it on the bike. And so I started noticing that a few other people did that as well. They just kind of leave the helmets on the bike. So that's the vibe down there. Nobody's even gonna steal your helmet on your your little scooter, moped, motorbike down there. So that's chill. But definitely small town, small area. I don't think it can handle. Thinking about it, like I don't know if it can handle, let's just say 1,000 tourists a week. I mean, it would just be a little too overwhelming at this point. Definitely, we are seeing some growth. We are seeing a lot of construction being done, making it a little bit nice. So, I'd love to go back. Definitely want to go back and see the growth, see how much it has grown since I've gone there. I love the initiatives playing out with Bitcoin. I love what they're doing with the communities and the kids. So it's great. It's amazing. I think you should check it out for yourself. But also have an agenda. We did go hiking. We didn't go to the volcano. The volcano, they had a little more strict rules. You got to go early and all that. And it's just kind of too far away, 2 hour drive. There's one highways, the highways are literally just shacks everywhere along them. So people are pulling over for the shacks. You can't just drive 70 miles an hour on the highways. Just not going to happen. Kind of too much going on. On the main highway, I guess you could go a little bit faster, but on the other highways, I don't even know what they call them, roads or whatever, there's just so much going on that, you just don't want to just speed so much. You got to pass people all the time. So you're averaging, you're averaging maybe 60 to 80 kilometers an hour, and kind of driving. So you can't really get far away very fast or efficiently with the roads down there. Just there's too much going on. And so, we were always about an hour and a half or 2.5 hours away from the volcano. Just too much driving for, vacation. We did go to a beautiful waterfall, which is awesome. There's some locals out there. There was like 2 kids out there doing backflips off a little rock into the pool water, which is cool. And then they get out and they're smoking cigarettes. And I asked the guy, how old are these? I'm like, they're like 12, 13. Like, they're smoking cigarettes out here. But I'm sure that's happening somewhere in America too. Just kind of funny to see. Anyway, it was a beautiful hike. They make you pay kind of for everything. We had to pay $7 a person to go hiking. But it is what it is. Definitely spent a little bit of money down there. So if you do plan on going down there, just know it's not as cheap as it was. A lot of the real estate down there, they're really saying that it's kind of shot up. If you're a local, you know how to get some deals. You know how to try to find stuff on Facebook. You kind of get some deals. However, if you're going to get the red carpet rolled out for you and have one of these companies do it for you, they're jacking up the prices quite high. There's really not much there. Also, the country is looking for Bitcoin, is looking for investors, investments, development projects, all of that. So they're willing to work with people. They're a bunch of good guys. They're hustlers. They're trying to get money. They're trying to build the country. But that comes with anything, right? That should be expected, obviously. If it wasn't expected, that wouldn't be. They probably wouldn't be getting anywhere. But my investment thesis, if you're talking about investing down there, how I look at it is, if you are going to go get that red carpet treatment and kind of have things kind of done for you, I would say that you're not too late, but you're not early. You're not getting cheap deals. You're paying 10 times prices what you could have got them for years ago. But they could probably still go another 10 times. So prices are still fairly cheap, but I do see the growth. And you're taking one of the biggest risks right now, because prices, if you do get the red carpet rolled out and you don't go there and live there and try to find the good deals, you are definitely overpaying for what it's worth right now. And you're taking the risk that the country is going to continue to bring economic growth to it, and continue to kind of grow. There's a lot of stuff that needs to get done in order for it to happen. So that was my kind of investment thesis. I definitely looked at a few things, and I'm kind of looking for the red carpet treatment, but I feel like it's a little too late. I feel like there's better opportunities in investing. And personally, I don't know if I would live there. That would be the ultimate question. Would I go live there? No, there's a few reasons. One, education. I have a 7-year-old, education for her is probably the most important. And 2, the lifestyle. I'm spoiled. I like my spoiled life. The West, we have it so good down here. When it gets to the point where it's unsafe here, will I look at El Salvador? Potentially, and that's why I'd like to go back. Just right now, right here in my life, I like comfort, which is not good. And it's not about comfort. It's ultimately about the tools, the resources, what we have here. I got super insane high-speed internet, which I could download videos and make videos. I couldn't even get YouTube Live to work down there because the Wi-Fi was never that great. And here I am. It takes 2 clicks. I'm just making a 40-minute video. But this is my trip to El Salvador. I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to call it up. If you have any questions about it, comment. I'm always reading the comments. Every now and then I get notifications. More than happy to talk more about it, answer some questions for you with it. But be on the lookout. Probably in a few weeks. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I will make a video on my trip to El Salvador. I don't know. Love y'all.